Hey, welcome to Love Liberate. I'm Emilie, your host. I'm a self-leadership coach, embodiment teacher, artist, and an activist for love. Now, I don't mean the fluffy kind of love. I'm talking about the real, the raw, confronting kind of love, the kind that cracks you wide open and liberates you, creating a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Because that is what I believe life truly is about. So through personal stories and inspiring, soul-stirring conversations on all things healing, embodiment, and spirituality, I'll help you navigate the good, the bad, and the ugly with tangible tools, fresh perspectives, and of course, a truckload of love. Here's to loving and liberating, one heart at a time. Hey lovers, welcome to Love and Liberate. Now, before we dive in, I want to start this episode with a little honesty. Because talking about love, it isn't easy. Especially not in a world where the word is used in all kinds of, let's say, disputable ways. It's used to cover things up, it's used to justify or to rectify bad behavior or ill intentions. But for me, love is nothing that you can fool. It's not cheap. And it's not fluffy and it's not perfect. It's raw, it's real, and at times, dear lover, it is brutal. And I'm speaking from first-hand experience, as you will find out in this episode. And then I finish off with a few journal prompts to help you find your own way back to love and discover or explore maybe where you're keeping love from flowing. So if you're ready to take a deep dive into the dark side of love, and if you've ever maybe felt like love was being an absolute asshole, and maybe you even lost faith in love, then this one's for you. Let's dive in. So a while ago, I was assisting in a tantra training in Ibiza, and we had a fun tantric dinner party. And the game of the night was that everyone had one very tricky, sticky, uncomfortable, deep, vulnerable, intimate, exposing question underneath their plate. If it was too much, you could pass it on. But the idea was you get the question and then you have to answer the question. And my question was, what is your recipe for love? And I was like, okay, boom. That's my shit. I love this because I have a very embodied experience of love, a very embodied knowledge of love. Now, I know that everybody is saying embodied this, embodied that, embodiment such and so. So I know that we're throwing around that word very easy these days, especially in the spiritual community. But what does it really mean? And also, how does one embody love, you know? So I'd love to explain a little bit further. So first of all, I'm going to tell you how I answered that question. So what I said is, it's my personal experience that whatever I encountered in my life, whatever difficulty, whatever situation, whatever challenge, whatever I encountered in my life that really blocked me or held me back, I would not stop seeking, digging, working until I get to the root of it. And what happened every time I went to the heart thing and I went deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, I found that liberation came whenever I allowed myself to open myself up for love. And opening yourself up for love is freaking vulnerable because it feels strong to be angry. It feels good to shut someone out. It feels amazing to say, that's a boundary, no more, and to sit in resentment. That, it makes you feel powerful. But the real power is where you work even through that. Where you realize, this is actually not freeing me. This is actually keeping me imprisoned. And I remember having a conversation with somebody who had hurt me significantly in my life. And I kept them in a place of power because I felt they owed me something. I was like, you owe me an apology. Or maybe not even an apology. You owe me the understanding of what you've done to me. You owe me the remorse. They owed me so much. And that kept them in a place of power instead of me. And at a certain point, all of a sudden, something just clicked in my head. Well, in my heart, really, in my body. Something clicked and I understood. As long as I'm asking them for something that presumably is gonna free me, I will forever be in their prison. Hold on. Hold on. That's not gonna fly. That's not how I want to live my life. There must be a way where I can free me. And there was. It was me sitting with the pain. It was me sitting with the resentment, sitting with the anger, sitting with the victimhood, sitting with the frustration of them not being reachable, accessible, not understanding, not acknowledging. That was all my work. And it's so easy to point at the other person and to be like, as long as you're not then I won't be free. Or then I don't know, as long as you won't, then I. That's just not true. Not in a space of no physical danger and imprisonment, because we're facing very different situations today and in wars in general and in abuse situations, so not speaking to any of that. But that specific moment, that was a turning point in my life. From that moment onwards, I realized I forever hold the power to let love flow and to allow me to be free. So I'm not saying condoning what people did to you or do to you. I'm not even saying let's try and sit and understand why they did so and so. No, none of that. But trust me that if you will sit with your anger and your feelings and your resentment and your prison, if you sit in your own prison long enough with the right people and the right guidance and the right context and the right softness and the right love and the right compassion, if you sit there long enough and if you move through that, on the other end, there will be compassion for both parties and there will be freedom for you, regardless of what anybody's ever done to you. So just to summarize this first piece, what I learned is that waiting for someone else to set me free was exactly that what kept me unfree, what kept me imprisoned. The real liberation starts when you take that power back by moving through all of the obstacles until you come to the foundation, the essence, the core of love. And that means you have to face what's inside of you. You have to face all the blocks, all the barriers, all the pain, all the dirt, all the messiness, and not wait for someone else to just offer them on a platter, because that's just not going to happen. And even if it does, it will take away everything that you need to learn on this journey as you're breaking through the shells. It's kind of like the metaphor or the story of the butterfly. So there's a butterfly who's trapped in the cocoon. It's still a caterpillar, and it's trying to get out of the shell and trying to break free from the cocoon. And if you at that point cut open the cocoon so that the butterfly can just fly freely, you're actually taking away the whole process that the butterfly needs to solidify and strengthen the wings so that it actually can fly. So what actually happens when you're prematurely liberating a caterpillar from the cocoon, the wings won't be strong enough to fly, and it will just fall dead on the floor. So that's why the struggle really is what brings us the juice. It brings us the skills, the talents, and everything that we need to thrive in this life, basically. In the realms of liberation, self-leadership, and taking back your power, one of the books that touched me the most is The Choice by Edith Eger. She's an Auschwitz survivor who managed to forgive Hitler. And that is not a thing one ever thought one would say. It's probably one of the most radical acts of love that I've ever encountered. I mean, we have a few amazing examples in the history, but she definitely is one of my role models when it comes to love. And I guess forgiveness is another word that we use, but forgiveness is really, I want to say abused, but I guess it's more misused and misunderstood. Because forgiveness, I'm afraid so many people still associate it with condoning or with saying, okay, well, we're past that now. Oof. But actually, they haven't felt the full range of their emotions of what that particular situation brought up for them. And as long as you don't do that, there's still something lingering, and there's still no order, and there's still no full flow for love. Anyway, that's a big one to take in. I can imagine. I'm also realizing that some of these things, they lack some context, and they might make a little bit of a shortcut left and right, and they might trigger for that reason. So if anything comes up for you, or you're uncomfortable, or you want to share, if you go to the show notes, there's a few links you can click on, but mainly there's emilieIris.com, where you'll find all the information. And on my website, you can find how you can work with me if you would like to be coached by me. But there's also colleagues of mine, other practitioners and therapists that I really recommend, whose work I value, and also whose work that I've experienced myself. Otherwise, I would never refer you to them. So that's an important note to make, that you can either share your voice, share your opinion, or be supported. All of that in the show notes. Back to my definition of love. So all of that work, all of those embodied experiences of me going through all the different emotions, all the ranges of anger, all the shades of grief, oh God, resistance, frustration, bitterness. Oh, it was dirty, and it still gets dirty. Don't be mistaken. Like, it's not that I'm healed from all the human emotions because I cracked one big one. I mean, one big situation in my life. It's an endless process of moving through those ranges of emotions that want to crack you open. So that takes me to the next part of my definition of love. I believe it's a vessel for growth. I believe that she is taking you to the pain to show you this is where you are keeping yourself away from me. So, up until now, we've explored how love isn't always light, and sometimes she shows up through pain. And we're also exploring that our willingness to sit with what hurts, how that can actually be the door back into love. And even more so, what if this is really love at work? And it's, again, my very personal lived experience that at the root of everything is love. So whenever you're in a situation where love is not found, it means that you haven't dug far enough and that there's still work for you to do. Not to say that you have to take on the work, because maybe not in this lifetime. Maybe too much for you to handle. Maybe you're okay with a little bit of sourness or soreness in your heart. I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna die with its heart just like entirely healed. And I mean, yeah, well, there was Buddha, wasn't there? and I guess this guy Jesus and Gandhi and Dr. Martin Luther King. I don't know, a few other people. Anyway, you know what I mean. So whether you take on the work or not, that's on you. And another fun byproduct of all the work that I've done is that I genuinely don't judge that, because I can see and understand how some things are just too much, too deep, too profound, too hard, too tough, too painful. And that's also fine. That's also love. And that's also self-compassion, you know? That's fine. And deciding for yourself what is something that you can take on and what isn't is also love. If not the biggest act of love, to respect that in yourself and in others. But I just want you to know that there is a way out, but it is the way through, and it is nasty sometimes. And still, I highly recommend, because I know that at the base of everything, there is only love. And I know the most horrible things happen in the name of love, and I know the most horrible things don't happen in the name of love. And still, if you dig deep enough, love is at the center, at the base, at the core, always. And now, how do I know that? How can I say this with such certainty? Because it's embodied. The experience of love and how I've experienced and worked for and through and with love has been through my body. So one of my practices, for example, is when I feel frustrated or angry or sad, or maybe it doesn't start with an emotion, but it starts with a physical experience. For example, like a nagging back pain. I would go and sit on my mat and really listen to my body. Ask my body, how do you want to move right now? And sometimes that's like, it takes time to feel that out, but sometimes you just get onto the mat and all of a sudden your body starts moving. Also, quick side note, when I say get onto the mat, I don't necessarily mean that you physically have to roll out a mat. I just mean stepping into a space where you can move freely with your body, and where obviously the floor is soft, so you can land if you want to be on the floor. So it can also be in your living room where there's a carpet, or maybe you like to do this kind of work on your bed. But these are the kind of practices that really taught me so much about my emotional world, my emotional landscape, but also about emotions in general and how they change color, change shape, and change like how they shape shift. Once I would move through a certain piece of anger, all of a sudden there would be like a massive sobbing coming out. And then after the sobbing, there's like this blissful peace that would just like flow through me. And that blissful peace, or that like the resolution, or basically the release of the stuck energy that was inside your body, that equals love. That's when love starts to flow again, or qi, life force energy. That's how they call it in Chinese medicine. But that feels to me like love finding its way to flow again. So sometimes I would just sit on the mat with back pain, and then all of a sudden I would start crying. Or sometimes I'd feel super blocked creatively. And just start dancing, jumping, maybe even roaring, screaming. And then all of a sudden, a breakthrough happens. I crack through the shell that was keeping me stuck. And then, a flood of love comes out again. So that's what I mean when I say embodiment. That's what I mean when I say I physically experience love and work towards love and through the barriers that keep me from love. That's one way that I work. It's an amazing way to work because you can always do it. It's like you have your body wherever you go. You just find space. It can just be in your garden. It can be in the woods. It can be in your living room, your bedroom, on the mat, anywhere. And you just move with whatever wants to move through you right now. Allowing that to move through you without your mind, without trying to control, without trying to make sense, but just allowing the energy to move through you. Doing that is an act of love in itself. And then when the release is there, you'll feel flooded with love. So that's one way. Through the body. Another practice that has deeply shaped my relationship with love is family constellations, which also works through the body, but slightly different. Let me explain you a little bit further. So, for example, in family constellations, the things that we do, the kind of work that we do, is we use our bodies to explore what a situation or a blockage or a relationship, or more generally, just what a certain dynamic is actually about. So everything, all the information moves through your body. So you step into the energetic field, opening your body to receive the energetic information that's there. You maybe start out with a certain blockage, so you feel maybe rage, or you feel jealousy, or you feel sadness, or you feel grief, and then that's your starting point. And that's obviously why we're working, because there is an emotional, energetic blocking the road to love. So you step into that field, you feel this anger, rage, whatever, and you acknowledge it. You see that it's there. You honor it. You're like, I see you, this is here, this is there, this is real right now. This is the experience in this very moment, and we honor, acknowledge, and see it. And by doing that, we're creating the space for things to move. As things start to move, as order is being found in the system, love starts to flow. And it's just the most incredible thing to know that there is, in the base of everything, in the structure of our world, in the fabric of our world, in every single vessel, every cell, everything, there is the want, the need, and the intelligence also, and the built-in structure, more importantly, to find, to want, to find love, and to find the order to get that love to flow. Let that sink in for a moment. It might be a little bit woo-woo if you've never experienced a constellation before. But I'm sure you've experienced a very bad discussion or a really difficult conversation in which you start the conversation heated or angry or passive-aggressive. I don't know. Those are defense mechanisms, and those are the layers. So as you start talking, as you start speaking your truth, as you start connecting firstly to yourself, as you start accepting what is there and honoring that and expressing that and giving that the right space for it, and the other one does the same. As healthy communication goes, then at some point, all of a sudden, you're like, wow, I no longer feel that anger. I no longer feel misunderstood or unseen or hurt. Now what I feel is connection. And that means there is order in place. It means that certain blockages are released so that love now can flow again. That's an experience that every single one of you listening definitely has had in their lives. And this is exactly, in my opinion, in my experience, that's how love works. So whether it's through movement, through family constellations, or through a difficult conversation that you're daring to face, the work is always the same. It's finding where love got blocked and gently making space for it to flow again. So I don't know. Was it the great Buddha who said, or Ram Dass or something? He said, okay, maybe I should just research this stuff. But anyway, I'm just going to paraphrase. Love is not the problem. You just need to look for the blockages that you put in place for love not to enter or not to flow. And that's exactly what I've experienced. So this idea of us putting layers or barriers in between ourselves and love, that's really the work that we have to do. Because I feel that exactly those blockages and the pain and the hardship, I feel that is love at work. That's love showing you where you're not open for her. That's love taking you right to the place where you are separating yourself from love, where you severed love, where you disconnected from love. And that's love taking you right there to the very painful core of your inability to open up. So what does love do? She cracks you open. Because she won't have you walking around in this shell being disconnected from her, because she needs you. She needs you to be in touch with her so that you move through the world as a proper human. So she will bring you into difficulties. She'll make you feel wildly attracted to this super unhealthy woman. Or she'll make you crave for a relationship outside of your relationship. Or she'll make you do nasty stuff. Or she'll make you love nasty stuff. Because she wants you to look at it. She wants you to see what you are doing and how you are blocking yourself from love. So instead of saying, oh, that's trauma bond, that's not healthy, well, she's just showing you where there's unhealthy stuff still lingering. That's literally her job. And that's also a big misunderstanding about love. Everybody thinks that's like a very cute, pinky, sweet, fluffy thing. No. Love is radical. Love is unapologetic. Love will fucking show ya. Love will kick your ass. Love is no missy to treat with disrespect, And, you can try, but love will teach you, and love will find her way. So that's the cool thing about love, and also the big misunderstanding. She's got a very cute rep, but she is not cute in that way. She is freaking fierce. She is ruthless. So, unpopular opinion, but I think a heartbreak is actually a really good thing. It's just another shell of your projections and your misunderstandings of reality and of yourself and your own essence being shattered, basically. And that's uncomfortable because we love to think that another person holds the big, beautiful key to our happiness, or that another person has some kind of portal, or, that you need to walk through because of their, love and presence and whatever. Of course, it's nice to have a human walking next to you, but they will never, ever embody what it is that you need to be in the body of love, which you are. But you just forgot. So again, love isn't out there. It's within. It's an state of being. It's an awareness. It's everything that moves us. Everything that moves the world. It literally makes the world go round. But we just forget. And our work is remembering. Again and again and again and again. Now, that's a lovely theory, isn't it? And I'm not going to play guru on you and pretend like I don't have any of those shells and blockages anymore. I have them everywhere, of course. But what I do have, and I feel that's my strongest weapon and greatest asset in this life, I have that embodied, felt experience of me breaking through a barrier, connecting to love again, and feeling liberated. And that little process of finding a barrier, breaking through it, feeling the love flow again, and then like you've been underwater and finally you're like back to the surface and there's oxygen back into your lungs and you can breathe again and you can see again. That feeling, I mean, that's my shit. Like, give me another hit of that. It's my favorite drug. Okay, that sounds a bit freaky, but I mean, that truly is, again, what I believe what life is about. It's about encountering those blocks and then just working your way through it. And how you work through them is up to you. There are so many modalities, therapies, practices. Oh my God, it's endless and it's amazing. And finding what works for you in this moment, because that also changes throughout your life as your needs change and your skills change. But finding what works for you is exactly what you are here to do as a human, I mean. Not that your entire life should be a series of therapy sessions, but your entire life is a series of encountering blocks and then working your way through them and then going to the next level. Like it's a little Super Mario game. You're just like trying to make your way through this level, and then you're at the end and you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then boom, you break through it, or you have to do the same level like a gazillion times over, but then in the end you make it through, and then there's liberation, and then you level up. And that's the whole game. And whether you do it through therapy or without therapy, but with art or through, I don't know, whatever. Still, I feel that's the purpose, the great purpose, capital G and capital P, of all of us, because that's what we all have in common. But if therapy is your thing, then hooray for you. There is just a crazy, crazy offering nowadays. And for some people, family constellations really opens up that door. For other people, it's talk therapy. For other people, it's water therapy, EMDR, NLP, just simple dancing or yoga, or, there are so many different entry points. And that's also why I love to go deeper into all the different modalities that I've experienced and also the ones that I haven't experienced and explore them, because I feel that's, again, what life is about. And that's also what this podcast is going to be about, to find those blockages and to find a way through them so we can allow love to flow again. And that basically means putting things in order. And order, what that actually means, I don't know. I have no idea why the order is the order. But I do believe that there is a divine order. And I don't have all the answers, but I have that little piece of experience with love, with the energy of love, which maybe some call it God, or universe, or source, or force, or nature. And it even feels like when I'm guided by that energy, when I believe in that energy, when I trust in that energy, I don't need to have all the answers. This is my guiding light, and believing that love is at the foundation, at the heart, at the center, at the core of everything that moves in our world. And when she is the driving force of this universe, then it's just a lot easier to not only move through pain, knowing that love is on the other end, but also to, to just like find a way to do life and find another outlook on life, a softer, easier look on life, in a way that life is not trying to screw you over, but life is really working for you instead of happening to you or working against you. But that's really all I can say. And it's not just all I can say. It's everything I ever will say. Because everything I do and everything I say always circles back to this very essence. And speaking of all I can say, I think that is enough said. For now, because next week, Wednesday, I am back with my next episode. There's been a few things that I touched on in this episode. If they resonate, if you want to hear more about them, if you want to share your own thoughts on them, please let me know. In the show notes, you're going to find how you can contact me. Go to my website if you feel like you need support, if something triggered, I can guide you. And there's a few other people that I highly recommend who you can find on my website as well, who can guide you as well. And then before you go, I have a few prompts for you to think about, to maybe journal on or sit with for a moment, or just listen to them and feel what happens in your body or what intuitively comes up for you. Here we go. What is your definition of love? When and how did love crack you open in your life before and brought you something good? Like, where did pain seem to have guided you to love? And then, where in your life are you facing a block that is being asked to work through, where maybe love could be on the other side? Then what tools do you have to experience and work with love and through the blocks? And then lastly, if not in love, what do you believe in? I'm super curious to hear your answers. If you want to share, please let me know. Find me on Instagram to connect with me and to let me know what you heard, felt, saw. This is it for today. Thank you so much again for listening. Subscribe if you love this podcast. Give it a little review. Send this episode to somebody you love and who you think might resonate. And hope to have you back next week. I wish you a bloody beautiful day. And here's to loving and liberating one heart at a time.